High schoolers watch vulgar leftist video on the labor movement in class. Video host labels Senator Mitch McConnell a human skid mark on a quilt. A teacher at Craig High School in Janesville, Wisconsin violated school district policy by showing students a vulgar leftist video about labor unions which exalts the contributions of communists and socialists to the labor movement and denigrates Republicans and right-to-work legislation. The video is titled "Why the Rich Love Destroying Unions" and is part of a series called Newsbroke, which is produced by Al Jazeera Media Network. It is hosted by comedian Francesca Fiorentini, who presents the subject of unions and the labor movement through a radical leftist lens. The video was shown to students in a marketing class. Fiorentini introduces the topic of the labor movement by asking, "Have you ever wondered how come kids don't work in coal mines anymore? And why do we only work 40 hours a week?" She answers, "They all came from the American labor movement of the 19th and early 20th centuries. One made up of immigrants, communists, socialists, anarchists, and other workers who fought unfair bosses and corporations and were oppressed for decades until they finally achieved their Marxist agenda of workplace safety regulations. You'd think that since we're told by this president and other Republicans how much their party cares about working people, we might hear more from them about supporting labor unions." Fiorentini intones as images of President Trump, Senator Mitch McConnell, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker, and other Republican leaders flash across the screen. Instead, Fiorentini tells viewers, the Republicans support so-called right-to-work legislation which has ended up weakening unions' power and hurting workers. She also takes hugely unnecessary potshots at various Republicans, showing a clip of former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum in which he states that as president he would support right-to-work. Host Fiorentina intones, "Spoiler alert, Rick. You never make it to the White House. You become a Republican pull-string doll on CNN. Sometimes you don't even show up, they just replace you with a wax sculpture and swear to God, no one can tell the difference." She also calls Senator Mitch McConnell a human skid mark on a quilt. The host also jokes about using cocaine, and then states that she doesn't do it because it's the least woke drug. A spokesperson for the school district admitted that the high school teacher had violated district policy which requires that teachers inform their principals when they will be discussing a controversial topic in class. The teacher did not take this step before showing students the first 7 minutes of the 12-minute labor union video. The spokesperson said that the school principal had sent all teachers a memo to remind them about the policy. A parent interviewed by local media who wishes to remain anonymous called the video outrageous and propaganda. "It advocates for a political agenda, which I think is out of line," the parent added. "I don't think when a parent signs your child up for a marketing class that they're expecting this is what's going to be taught." Following media coverage of the episode, Craig High School principal Allison Bjoin sent a letter to parents of students in the class informing them that the teacher would now be required to submit lesson plans to her office prior to teaching the material in class. Bjoin added that the teacher will also be required to give additional lessons to provide a more balanced view of the topic.